Hey guys, welcome to the Prepping Preacher channel. I'm Brother Tim. I'm so glad you're here. I hope God's truly blessed you. Hey, I'm going to show you how to make your own tomato powder, so stay tuned. As I said, this is the Prepping Preacher channel. I'm Brother Tim, and I'm so glad you're here. I hope God's truly blessed you. Hey, if it's your first time with us, man, let me save you a little bit of time. We stand on pro-God, on pro-family, on pro-life, on pro-Second Amendment. That's guns, things that go bang. And we are pro-military, pro-police. Now, if any of them offend you, well, be an adult. Change the channel. Go on somewhere else. You're not going to hurt my feelings, all right? But if those are the things you like, well, man, hit the subscribe button. That way you'll get all the videos as they're coming out. But this is the place that we're going to talk about God. We're going to talk about our families. We're going to talk about prepping for hard times, guys. Not a doomsday scenario, just getting ready for hard times and being ready. And that's the name of the game. Now we're going to show you how to make your own tomato powder. Now, guys, this is something that I enjoy doing, and, man, you will too after you've tried it. So stay tuned. We're going to walk to the garden here. Well, we're coming to the end of our harvest here. As you can see, my tomatoes aren't doing much, but I tell you, still got a bunch of peppers. As you can see, good looking peppers too. Look at this. Oh yeah. All right. Gonna have to be drying them out. But you see our little beds here. You can have a garden wherever you want. Look at these peppers. Oh yeah. You can have a garden. It doesn't take a lot of room. You can see I've got a tomato ready there just about. All right, now, man, I tell you, these grape tomatoes have really put out. But the harvesting right now is getting few and far in between. So you'll see as we start to harvest these, what I do with them. We're going to make tomato powder. The cucumber's just about gone. Our little garden is just about done. Like I said, it's right at the end of the harvest here, and we're not getting a lot. Now we are getting some good tomatoes, and we've got a lot of plum and cherry tomatoes and little grape tomatoes. And so what we do, I don't have enough really to make a batch of something. Oh, that's still a little green. But what I'll do is I make tomato powder. Now, one thing about this tomato powder, it is very concentrated. And what I do is I just chop these up, and we'll go ahead and just start chopping. Now, like I said, just get them good chopped up. I have them is what I do here. I'm not going to go into a full chop on the board because that's what I've got this grinder for here, this food processor. But the larger ones, I just half. Makes it easier. And then the big ones now, I will chop them. The little ones, like these little ones, I just drop them in like they are. I leave skin and all, get a good wash on them. All right, these are coming out of our garden, so I ain't got to really worry about any pesticides because we don't use them on them, but we give it a good wash in case there's been a blow. I know, wash. Sorry, that's that old Southern coming out of me. But then the big tomatoes, just try to get them into a manageable size because, see, I don't use the big food processor with this because, well, number one, it ain't enough to deal with. Now, I'll cut that stem side off right there. All right. Get rid of it. But then, just like I said, just make it in a manageable size. You'll see what we got here. All right. Boom. Yep. If you see one piece too big, just cut her down. That's all there is to it. There's no science to it, guys. But this is how we make our tomato powder. Now, you can put all kinds of, you could put garlic powder and onions in it if you'd like. But I like to leave it just as it is for tomato. I can add that stuff later. But it's good for soup bases. It's good for marinara. It's good for stock to make soup out of. Man, I can just sit here and list it. You can make your own spaghetti sauce. It's really great when you reconstitute it. And very deep. Now, I like doing it in the dehydrator better than the oven. I've done some in the oven, but This gives it a richer, a richer, fresher taste. So now that we've got some cut up, all right, now this is just a little cheapy. I think I paid $1 for it at a garage sale. All right, so drop us some tomatoes in there. Get it about halfway full. There you go, like so. Put our piece back on. You can use you can use whatever food processor you got. I like this one because it's a smaller batch. For these smaller batches that we got, if I was doing tomatoes all day, I would get the big processor out. All right, just try to get it down. Now what we're going to do with this, I want to show you the consistency of it. And there'll be some thicker pieces here. All right, so what you got to do is sift it. I'm going to, matter of fact, you can see there, we've got almost a puree. I think you can see that right there. Yes, you can. Almost a puree. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pour that off into a bowl. That way, if there's any big pieces in it, I can pull them out and run them back through. All right, but just pulse it up, get you a good puree. There, fill it up again. Now that we've got it, I pour it in to the dehydrator. Now these are jelly sheets right here, and I'll give you a link to them that I use with this. We've got a set of 4, but now we'll spread it out with a spatula. All right, we start spreading it out. Try to get a thin layer on it. If there's big pieces left, it won't dry as fast. So try to spread it out. And it takes me about 2 of those bowls, or 2 of those, that you saw there, to fill 1 tray. And it is wet, and it takes a little while to dry. See, like there's a big piece right there. So we'll take it and put it back in the bowl. There's another big piece. We want it as thin as we can get, see? So we can spread it out, and we'll get a good dry on it. Now you can see we've got it pretty much covering this jelly sheet. We don't want it too thick. All right, and we're going to be ready to dry it. All right, once we've got it spread out, whatever tomato puree we've got, set our lid down. Now see, I use this Nesco dehydrator. It's been a good one. We've had it probably 10 years, and it works great. Now I know a lot of people have the Excalibur, and there's different kinds, and you don't have to have a certain kind to do it. Once we've got it going, now one thing I don't like, there's not a switch on the Nesco. It's a plug in or unplug type. So now we plug it in, got it at 160 degrees, and let it do its work. All right, we've been running about 12 hours at 160 degrees, so let's see what we got. All right, now what we'll do is we're going to take these out, break it up. Well, the easiest way I have found to break these up is to take that jelly tray out and just fold it in, like so. Now you see what we got here, crisping up. See how easy it breaks off there, and you just got these real thin sheets here. I'll drop them into a bowl before I put them into the grinder, just to get them all together. Just spin it around. Just flex the plastic. It'll come right off there. Now don't put any oil down when you're doing this. Okay, it will come off. Trust me, it'll come off there. But if you put oil, that's more fat, so you've got to worry about it drying out, and it could go rancid on you. We want as dry a product as we can get. And so the only thing here is God's goodness in tomatoes. That's it. Now that's what our 3 trays worth of just what was left in our harvest there of tomatoes. That's what it yielded in the pieces. But we're going to go one step further. We're going to powder it up. I like to use a grinder that's specifically for my vegetables and my herbs. I don't like it with my coffee. I just don't want to give any off flavor to my coffee. So let's stick it in here and let's pulse it up. Get it a little bit finer than that. Man, you can smell the freshness of the tomatoes. There's what you're getting, tomato powder. We'll see how much we yield here. Here's something that's really interesting. We had a little over 2 pounds of raw tomatoes. They yielded 2.4 ounces of powder, 2.3. All right. Well, that's how we make our tomato powder. Now, guys, you can use this anywhere that you're using tomato sauce or tomato paste. Now, to make tomato sauce, it'll take about 2/3 of a cup of that powder and about 2 cups of water to reconstitute, and then you've got some great tasting tomato sauce right there. And you about 16 ounces worth is what you'll end up having anywhere you're using sauce, marinara sauce, whatever, in your chilies and your soups. You can make ketchup with it. The great thing about this is, number one, nothing but tomatoes. Nothing but tomatoes in this. No additives to it. Number two is how you can store it. Now, you can take that, and once you've got enough into a bag, drop you an oxygen absorber in there and seal it up. And it should keep the 10 years at least with this, 5 to 10 years with no problem if you get the moisture out of it. See, that's the key. You want to keep light off of it and moisture out of it. So I put that little batch into a Ziploc because we're going to use that. You can use it to flavor different things just as the powder is. Goes good with eggs. I love it with eggs. It gives that little taste of tomato to it and that taste of sunshine. So guys, that's how we do it. It's another way to use some of your harvest that's coming in when it's getting smaller and smaller to put up so you can keep it on hand. Now guys, I love you, and until I see you again, I'm praying God may richly bless you. You'll continue to stand in that gap. This is the Prepping Preacher. Guys, I'm out of here.